Our co-host has returned to his rightful throne. God, he's so cute. It's a little old, crusty motherfucker. This is our new sponsor. Just kidding. It's just water. I made my it's just water joke, Scotty. South Park reference? No? Just me?
No one watches it.
Wow, Scotty thinks no one watches South Park. I can't. Okay, so we're going to talk about control. The idea of control. Controlling your dog. This falsitude, this lie that perpetuates the use of aversive corrective tools on dogs because we think that somehow if we could just punish them good enough, they're going to understand. Ugh, that was really loud. I'm sorry, everyone. Okay, so today we're going to talk about... No. We don't talk on this show. We bitch. Today we're going to bitch about this concept of control. Controlling your animals. Controlling an animal. That's ridiculous. Like, even when it comes out of my mouth, like, I'm going to control an animal. Sounds ridiculous. For humans that have small humans or children, do you control your children? That's my question to you. I mean, there's a reason why we're sort of like out doing capital punishment. Because the idea of punishment does not actually give you control. The idea, the semblance of control, though, is quite interesting. It's a bit speciesist, I would say, to think that, like, as humans, like, we need to control and dominate our dogs. We literally feed them. We decide how much they're going to eat and when they're going to eat. There's no way for them to communicate outside of that purview that they need more or less food than we're giving them, other than we just like measure their weight, right? We pick up their poop. We decide when they're going to go to the bathroom. We decide where they're going to go, whether or not they need to go to the doctor. Even if maybe they might need to go, we might not know because they can't like raise up a paw and be like, I don't feel well. Can we go to the doctor? So it's literally up to us. We decide when or if we're going to take care of their dental health. We decide when or if they're going to get a bath. We decide when or if their nails are going to get trimmed. We decide when or if someone's going to pop their anal glands. We decide when or if their eye boogers are going to get cleaned. We decide when or if we're going to do pretty much everything in their life. Move, rehome, travel. We literally disappear every day, some of us, for like 8 or 9 hours. We decide that. We don't communicate with our dog. We decide when or if they're going to go to the park, when or if they're going to go to daycare, when or if they're going to be forced into a socialization experience that they don't want to be. When you really think about it, does your dog have any control over their own life and their own fate? No, they don't. And so the idea that we need to micromanage them on a walk even into like basically being a robot, like pooping when I say poop, going pee when I release you for a pee, sniffing when I tell you it's okay to sniff, walking where I tell you to walk, when I tell you to walk there. I mean, it sounds a little crazy when you really start to break it all down, right? It's like, when does your dog have any agency? So while like people on the other side of dog training may look at what I do as a dog trainer and see me out there walking my dog on a long line and think like, that's just absolutely fucking ridiculous and she can't control that animal. My question to you is, Do you think I want to control the animal? Because I actually don't. My whole entire goal in creating a cooperative relationship between a human and their animal, or mending the human-animal bond, is trying to find opportunities where our dogs have some semblance of agency and self. They are sentient. We know that they are feeling. We know that they are thinking. We know that they are experiencing the world. When does your dog actually get to experience the world as themselves and as the dog they are? And have you given them an opportunity to express that? One of my favorite things that I do when I come in for a first session with a client is I do what's called my assessment session. And really what it is I take all the hands off and I just observe and I watch and I see how much do pet parents step in when their dog is doing something. Doesn't work. Like I walk in, they start jumping on me as a pet parent, like, no, stop it, off, ah. Right, like all the things, screaming, yelling. What does the dog do? Yeah. How much does the dog actually problem solve? Can they problem solve? Or do they just get frustrated because like the human's not giving them any feedback? Like what does that look like for the dog? What is their frustration tolerance level? How creative are they at problem solving? Are they free thinking at all? How far gone are we? Yeah. What is their agency? What is their choice when a stranger walks in the room? Do they actually want to engage with me, or are they accidentally programmed to run up and receive love, even though they might be trepidatious, fearful, or uncomfortable? What does that look like for the animal? Because I don't think many people take the opportunity to get to meet their dog. And so one of my favorite things when a dog starts acting in a very dog-like manner and being themselves is looking at a client and saying, meet your dog. This is your dog. And they're like, wow, they never do this. I'm like, sure. But I didn't ask for anything. I never asked your dog to give me any behavior. I just actually let your dog figure something out. And now they're comfortable. And this is your dog behaving in a manner that is comfortable and full of their own agency and their own personality. And this is what they've chosen. And if you're not seeing this in your dog, then you are not giving your dog opportunities to choose and free think. And you know what happens? We actually modify behavior together. We actually solve behavioral issues because we get down into what is the dog thinking, feeling, and what is their emotional response to the environment. And then we help shape it in a way where they feel safe and they feel in control. Because we ride roller coasters for a reason, right? Because you want the adrenaline rush of feeling out of control. But imagine if your whole life was a roller coaster. That's your dog's life. Yeah. So stop strapping them into a freaking harness, right? And I'm using the metaphor like, please wear a harness. Don't use a collar. But like, stop strapping them into like a device that is going to further control their mood and help them. Be cooperative with them. Because this idea that we need to like control our animals and that they need to be obedient is false. It's a false narrative. We already do control them. That's why this idea of dominance is ridiculous. Like, okay, when dogs rise up one day and can feed themselves and learn how to open all the victuals vaults and can learn how to walk themselves down the street and clean up their own poop so they're not living in like a world stacked with feces infested with salmonella and other dangerous bacteria and can take themselves to the doctor and drive, then I might be worried about my dog becoming dominant. But until that day arrives, I'm going to see my animal for what it is, which is sentient, existing, cohabitating, coexisting, and needing cooperation, cooperative care, consent, respect, and love, not rules and boundaries. So that's all. Follow, like, share, do all the things. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. And we'll see you next week on another episode of Bitching with Sylvia.